All right, we're on another episode here of Athlete POV. We're sitting down with Woody Waters, wide receiver, University of Georgia. Just won a national championship. First thing I gotta ask you, how does it feel, man? In the past 41 years.
I mean, it's. I mean, I can't really describe the feeling. It's like um, so much went into it. Like even I didn't realize how long. Like I mean, we started working for this in January, like 2021, and we just won the thing in January 2022. It's so wild and like everything that went into it. From everybody in the building, the players, the coaches, the rest of the support staff, even and then on to like just the fan base and all the students. It's just like the feeling, the emotion is like it's unlike anything that I've ever seen. You know, as far as like from being an outsider looking at other teams, I've never seen anybody or any team care as much as everybody that was involved with this.
Definitely, man. And now yourself being from Georgia, like my team, we found pictures of you in like a Georgia jersey when you were in like kindergarten. How does it feel for be like kind of like the hometown sort of victory, like for the whole for Georgia, really?
It's again, it's indescribable. I mean, it's like it's a dream. I mean, it's because I was a fan my entire life until I got on the team, and then you gain a little bit of a different perspective once you see what goes on. But I mean, like being 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, 17 years old, when all that, all the heartbreak, all the SEC championship losses, the playoff loss, the national championship loss, as a fan, you feel like you feel like I don't know, you feel like the world's ending, and then now we just we finished the damn thing this time. So I don't know, it's indescribable, really.
That's amazing. And this year, being a redshirt freshman, what was it like? What was it like for you being a redshirt freshman and coming in on like a walk-on sort of role?
Just being on the field with everybody, like being with the guys. That was the part that was so special about this team was from the top down. From Coach Smart all the way down to um, freshman walk-on guys like me. Everybody knew their role, and everybody played their role to the best of their ability. Whether you're a guy that plays 85 snaps a game, and you're an All SEC, All American type dude, or whether you're a guy that just plays on the scout team and gives looks for those guys. Everybody from the from the top to the bottom, you know, took their role very seriously, and I feel like the way that we practiced is the reason why week in week out um, we were beating people the way that we were, and down the stretch we were able to play our best football.
Definitely. I mean, everything is a team effort, especially football. I mean, from like you said, from the top people to the scout people on the teams giving the looks. It's without one person, without one group of people not doing what they're supposed to, nothing happens. No championship happens. No big games happen. So being in the role that you are now, what are you looking forward to next year and like maybe leveling up or stepping up into a higher role?
Just the opportunity. I mean, I would say like you know, growing up all the way through my senior year of high school, playing multiple different sports, I don't think that there is another sport that can draw the competitiveness, like the need for a competitive atmosphere in football is it's a necessity to having an elite football team. And I
Mm.
think that a program like Georgia, that's what you get no matter what, because the guys that are coming in year out are elite players, and they all want to play, and
I can imagine.
the best players are going to play. So when you create that competitive environment, it only makes it better for the entire team. And if you don't, if that's not what you're about, if you ain't about competing, then this ain't the right place. I'll tell you that.
100%, man. And now this year and going forward, I know every day is different for you, but what are some key things every day that you do as an athlete that permits to like football training, eating right? Like, what are some things you do every day that are non-negotiable for you?
For me, I would say stretching probably, stretching and then getting some kind of cardio, like getting the heart rate going, because that's another thing. Conditioning, especially in this league and like the environment that we play in, the environment that we practice in, and the environment that we work out in the off season, especially over the summer. It's brutal. So I mean, you have to be ready for it. You have to train your body for it. And luckily, we get all the help in the world we can get from um,
Mm.
training staff, the support staff, the nutrition staff. There's countless number of people in the building that are looking out for you and only have your best interest in it, especially from a health standpoint. So, um, anytime you have a problem, if there's anything you need, there's countless number of people you can go to for it. So, um, that's pretty much it.
Of course. Now, I just want to go back to that national championship game real quick. After the game, you guys stormed the field. What is it like on the field? What is going through your body?
Well, the field, I mean, like that was an interesting game because it went from like we're up 8 points. They're kind of they're driving the ball down the field with enough time to have a chance
Right, right.
to win the game and send it to overtime. So it kind of went from you just got to sit there and watch and hope that you get a stop to like a pick six and the game's over pretty much. And so there was a whole probably 5 or 8 minutes there where we knew we had won the game, but there was still time on the clock, and so everybody's trying to hold their excitement in. But once that clock, when Nolan got that sack and the clock was on zero, I mean it was just nuts. Like confetti falling down, people running all over the field. I was running around and like I was looking this way and I was running like waving the towel or whatever. And then right when I turned my head back this way, I was running right across the 50-yard line where Coach Saban and Coach Smart are walking out towards each other, shaking each other's hands, and I go flying across midfield. And right as I turn my head this way, Coach Saban's probably like a couple feet from me. And had I not turned, I might have just ran him over. But I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I saw him. I might have been federal prisoner now for that.
I mean, with Saban being as nice as like well known as he is reputation wise for all the security guards, maybe.
That's right.
Man, so now going back to maybe about you now. So at Georgia, top talent, like you mentioned, is there like a certain player or yeah, is there like a certain player you look up to the most that you took the most inspiration from this year and upcoming years?
Um, I wouldn't say inspiration as far as just there are guys there's such a like unique combination of talent in the receiver room.
Hmm.
There's different players that are really good at doing different things that are qualities that receivers have to be really good. Some people are good at route running. Some people can go up and get the ball. Some people are just fast, deep threats. Um, some people run after catch, that type of deal. So you take little things from different people, but
Hmm.
but
That's
yeah,
interesting because you mentioned how everyone has their own strength, and like,
right,
say you being a first year player as a redshirt freshman, you go in and you see everybody how they operate, and you're like, oh, this guy does this to increase his speed. Let me try that, or this guy jumps really high. Let me try to do this
yeah.
drill with him. And then it's pretty
The
cool.
most, and I would say the most important, like the biggest thing for me, since you asked the question, would be route running and creating separation.
Mm.
Because I'm a smaller guy, so quickness and separation
Right.
is
Yeah.
key
You
playing.
got to play
So
to your strengths and your
yeah,
generic
yeah.
ability.
So the guys that are in that room that that's the quality that they have that they do really well. Those are the guys that I typically look at.
Right. Now I gotta ask this question. You mentioned how last year's prep started now, right? So is Georgia going back to back?
Hey, we're gonna have a shot at it. We got it. I mean, we lost a lot of guys, but we don't. We're not rebuilding. We just reloading. So
Right.
we're gonna have a chance at it. We're gonna have a good football team. So, yeah.
Georgia finishes in like the top 10, top 5 recruiting classes every year. So I'm sure you guys will be with talent base well off. And if you guys can replicate what you did last year, I mean, if all goes as planned, I don't see why not. You're definitely up there.
And I think it was just huge because obviously I haven't been in the locker room the last couple of years, but just from what I've heard from players that have been around and coaches that have been around that I've asked about it, the difference between the team that just won the national championship and prior teams that came up a little bit short was just leadership,
Mm.
buy-in, and just the commitment to to each other, to be connected, to care about each other, and to
Mm.
do everything we can to win. I mean, you know,
Yeah, I feel like that's the bread and butter for all successful
yeah,
teams. Just everyone locking in, everyone. Like you see now with the Cincinnati Bengals, they weren't the best team, but I'm sure Zach Taylor and Burrow and all those guys, the connection they have is very deep and very like they know exactly everything about each other and stuff like that. They're a team, not just like one star-studded person.
right. And it was and to credit Coach Smart and to credit the support staff, it wasn't like it just happened to happen. It was a it was a it was an organized effort to make sure that we knew more about each other, we knew each other's why, we knew where each other came from, so that when stuff got tough, whether it was a workout or in a game or whatever, you could look at that person and tell them, remind them, like you're doing this for this, you're doing this because you want this, and that helps motivate your teammate, your brother. So I thought it was very important.
Right, and everything is bigger than just one person. Like you just said, remind everyone what it's all about. The team, it's about the commitment, it's about the result at the end of the road. Like, and obviously, it worked this year, and that's really rare for a team to win because one team wins every year, you know.
Yeah.
So,
When you see it, when you see it manifest like that, especially for younger guys in the building, like freshmen that had just come in last year, even sophomores, when a coaching staff is preaching at you, like buy in, buy in, buy in. This is what we got to do to accomplish what we want to accomplish, and then that manifests itself into becoming,
mm,
true. It turns into a national championship, and now that's an easy sell.
right, and
It's
I
the
also
next.
I was gonna say I also feel like coaching is a big part in that too because
Oh,
if a coach can motivate and persuade a team to get all in, I'm sure every coach says it once like to every team, hey, you gotta be all in this year. But I feel like if a coach can really perform and like take action on his words, that really separates it because everyone says they're all in. It's about what the reaction is of the players, you know.
yeah, it's all about trust. It's about, as a player, you got to trust that not just the coaching staff, but every single person in the building, the strength staff, the training staff, the nutrition staff. You have to trust that every single person on your team in that building has your best interest in their mind, and you have to trust in what they're telling you to do and do what they tell you to do. And that's what buy-in is. And we did that, and we got it done. So
And I'm sure it feels amazing, man. Last question I got for you. If you could give any advice to anybody out there that's struggling with anything mentally, that's also an athlete, you know, any advice to anyone like that, what would you say to them?
I would say, from my experience, I would just say ask for help. Like everybody's got certain people that they lean on, that they trust the most, that
Mm.
they know love them, that they know have their best interest in mind. So I would just say, no matter what your problem is, everybody needs help sometimes. Everybody goes through some things sometimes. So I would just say the biggest thing, and this is something that I struggle with. So I would say the biggest thing is just to ask for help, get some help, trust people that love you, and just lay it on the line.
Right, and the only reason we ask is because so many athletes nowadays just keep quiet about things that they go through and things that don't aren't like the stereotypical athlete. And I feel like that needs a big change, and I feel like mine's is one of the big, not one of the big. We want to have a voice in change, so I feel like asking athletes themselves about issues like mental health is so important. So I thank you for answering that question.
No problem, man. Yeah, I mean it's a huge deal. I mean, there's a lot of people I know go through things like that. I go through things like that. A lot of athletes I know go through things like that. And typically, the things that, well, almost 9 out of 10 times, the things that help you get through stuff like that are the people that are close to you. So,
100%.
yeah, I think that, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, man. So that's about it. I want to thank you for coming on. My name is Charlie Paulucci. This is Woody Waters, Georgia football wide receiver. I want to thank you for coming on, and I wish you the best next season, and good luck.
Yes, sir, man. You too. Good luck. Go, dog.
Appreciate it.